Okay, what's up, guys? I know it's been forever since I did a live weather, played factor, and gross, disgusting, annoying play has just bummed me out, and I didn't want to bring the whole Cassidy experience when the Braves are struggling mightily to live, because it's just I go through it when this stuff is happening. So this year's basically a sort of a mirror image of last year. I mean, you've got 17 and 21. We're kind of lucky to be that. We've only won 2 series, both at home against NL Central opponents, Milwaukee and Chicago. In the last couple of series, we should have won, but the Sunday Peacock game against the San Diego Padres, we're up 3-0. Kyle Wright cruising. And then a leadoff walk, an infield single, 2 strikeouts in between, and then a weird back pick attempt by William Contreras. That shouldn't be a surprise because his brother is Wilson, who is one of the more aggressive catchers. It just didn't make sense to do that, and Matt Olson couldn't catch it. Should have caught it, but I don't think he was expecting it, and then the kind of floodgates open that way. I feel like every leadoff walk, every wild pitch, every mistake we're making is compounded because we just can't battle through it. Yesterday, we had a 4-0 lead with Max Fried on the mound, and he lost it for like a 6-batter stretch in the fourth inning. Was able to limit the damage to 4-2, but we just couldn't hold it. And with the injuries that we're experiencing, Manny Pena, our backup catcher, I really like what he brought, but the nagging wrist injury, it got him out for the entire season. So that opens the door for William Contreras, and obviously, and I really like what he's done this year. But I think Tyler Matzik, either going through the yips or having that shoulder inflammation, I think that really hampered Snicker in the bullpen recently too, because he wasn't necessarily comfortable using Tyler because we didn't know what we were getting. Last time he pitched was the 6-3, the 9-4 loss to Boston, but he pitched the when it was 6-3. It was clean. Gave up a walk, but was able to work through it. But I mean, I think that hampers Snicker because Tyler Matzik is, when right and when healthy, your 8th inning guy, but now you're totally shuffling, and the Colin McHugh is supposed to be your multiple, and Spencer Strider you want to be multiple. Will Smith can close too. Kenley Jansen's been used a lot, and I think that played factor in yesterday's loss. Not that he pitched bad, but again, the leadoff walk to Jace Peterson, the epic battle with Colton Wong. If there's nothing you could do there, and then I can see using Strider, obviously because he was super dominant, but with 11 pitches after the 7th, and maybe then using Will in the 9th. But again, that would be 3 out of 4 days for Will too. So the depth and the freshness of the bullpen without Tyler Matzik and without Luke Jackson, even though we dealt with Luke Jackson being down all year long, the depth that we thought was there is not. But with Strider, I understand why people wanted him to go back out there. But one, the Brewers have seen him a lot. Two, we've seen at times if he goes out there for the second inning, his velocity goes down a little bit and his effectiveness with where he just how he is. And obviously with the one, I think it was the Apple TV one where he came out for the 8th inning and it just kind of exploded on him, probably because I don't think he thought he was going to go back out there. So that's a different circumstance. But I think the bullpen roles are in flux because we really don't use Tyler Thornburg very often. What was the last time he pitched Boston? I think it was Boston, and it was 6-4 in the 9th, and then it turned into 9-4. Appreciate it, Garrett. I watch him every day too, and that's part of the reason why I haven't really done lives. It's because it's so frustrating to me, and I loved him so much, but I want to. Yeah, there's nothing there because our starting pitching the last 26 and a third or so, we've given up probably a total of 7 runs and still losing, and 5 straight guys have gone 6 innings and given us a chance. So, I mean, the offense hasn't been consistent at all. And I don't think there's a simple answer because our lineup is what our lineup is, and there's not versatility. There's not some different things we could do. I think my gut said put Ronald Acuna Jr. first, Travis Demeritte second, but Travis has hit a wall a little bit with these All-Star Cy Young staffs that we are. Yeah, I mean, every little thing that we're not doing right now is coming back to bite us. The leadoff walks, the one bad changeup that Ian Anderson threw in the 1-0 shutout. Of course, it was a wild pitch, and it comes back to bite us. The 0-2 mistakes, there was a ton of those yesterday. And then we hit a ball 106 miles an hour, and it's right to the third baseman. What was that? First and second, no outs in the top of the 10th. Yeah, we were able to score a run, but 106 miles an hour, that needs to find some green grass or over the fence. But it's just a combination of bad with the strikeout bug, as bad as it is for our offense. And then we're finally putting it in play, and then we finally get a decent lead, and then we're kind of hamstrung with the bullpen because you're using Colin McHugh and AJ Minter for multiple days and multiple innings. It's kind of the depth, and it is still a strength, I think, but we just got to find. I think Jackson Stevens can be more of is going to have to be more of a higher leverage guy. Especially when the rosters go down to just 13 pitchers. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can't do that either, and we have I actually enjoy the speed that we have with Ronald. Obviously he's still struggling with the groin, but 80% Ronald is better than some 100% players. So we're just gonna have to deal with that. Ozzy speed, Dansby, and we've seen Riley take some liberties too. So I kind of like the aggressiveness of us on the bases. We just need to get it more frequent. And I don't know, because I understand that hitting a ball is one of the hardest things you can do, especially with the velocity and the movement and the off-speed pitchers feature today. But I don't know how, because or I know in my brain they're not trying to strike out, and and we're all trying to. It seems they're all trying to do too much, even with the defensive struggles of the San Diego series. We corrected that thankfully in the Brewers series to snag one, and should have snagged the other. That's the frustrating thing, is you think you should have 2 series wins going on this continuing on this road trip with the Miami Marlins, but we've only won 2 series, and if for one thing we finally score 6 runs, it's not enough because our pitching is off that day, or our pitching is phenomenal the entire day, and we don't score anything. There is no balance. There is no flow. And again, I don't know that there's a simple answer in our lineup, and you forget about I mean, yeah, striking out is definitely hurting us, and 2-strike approach is obviously, but I mean, 2-strike approach is one thing, but executing it is another too. So, and we haven't clearly. So, and then losing Eddie Rosario as well has really hurt, because there's a stacked right-handed heavy after you get past Matt Olson and Ozzy, of course, the switch hitter, thankfully. But I would think once the rosters expand, I think that's May 29th, we might see a left-handed Alex Dickerson or something, who he hit into some of the worst luck. And obviously, based on the numbers, our offense should be a lot better than it is. But the reality is the reality. It's not good. And, I mean, I don't know if Adam Duvall struggles is because he has to man center field, and it takes a special person to be able to kind of be the captain of the outfield defense, especially with Acuna's injury and Marcell Ozuna's very, very lackluster arm. I don't know if that's putting extra pressure. I mean, he was never an average guy, and obviously the baseballs are a story, whether Rob Manfred wants it or not. I mean, it just is. And I mean, we're still leading in like extra base hits, and Matt's leading in doubles. So there's a good offensive numbers. We just can't kind of string it together in the proper way where you're getting a lot of crooked numbers. And I think that's the most frustrating part. I was thinking about the lineup and how maybe you could change it, but with Travis Demeritte kind of hitting a wall and struggling himself. But I was thinking Ronald's Ronald, Travis, Demerit, Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Travis Darno, Dan Ozzy Alves, Dansby Swanson, Adam Duvall, and I know I'm missing somewhere. Yeah, there was a little bit more improvement in the there was more improvement in the 2-out Magic, and Ozuna looks a little bit of life. Riley looks like he's starting to turn it back around. So there's like signs, but can we put it completely together? I don't know. Because I think Tucker Davidson deserves to be the 5th spot. Yeah, I mean, the execution, unlucky, all of that stuff kind of factors in, but the execution of it all is annoying and it's not working, obviously. And there's just a lot of games that you think, and the good thing is that we're still in all of these games. The bad thing is that we're finding new ways to lose seemingly every game in every series. But again, I just it's kind of a loss for words to kind of, because I don't think there's a magic fix to any area of our team right now, because you look at Kyle Wright on Sunday, as I mentioned, to start, what he was cruising through 4, and then the leadoff walk, the infield single, and then the blunder of the back pick with 2 outs to gift them a run, and then a couple errors by Riley, and then another error by Olson. I mean, the defense has gotta always be there. And yes, putting the ball in play does usually mean good things, but for us, even putting the ball in play somewhat has been annoying with the shift. And obviously good on the defense, but we're hitting a million miles an hour right at them too. So it's a lot of things. And Max Reed losing it for a good 5-6 batter stretch yesterday with a 4-0 lead. With a 4-0 lead and Max Reed on the mound, you feel pretty good about winning that game, but it's I don't know if Dansby I know he did decent in the leadoff hole. I can't remember if he's done well in the 2 hole, but that might be a nice thing. But he's been in the bottom of the lineup all year, so I don't know. But hey, I'm willing to put it in a blender and see what happens. Because again, I think Riley Olson's hit the ball hard and leads the league in doubles, and yeah, he strikes out a little bit, but and I think Marcell coming around is gonna help. I mean, gonna help. William Contreras has been putting together good at bats, but I mean, we don't have really a I'm trying to think like a Charlie Culverson super utility that could play in different spots and gives you a really good at bat. Whether it works out or not, I don't think that's on the roster, and the depth doesn't allow for too many lineup changes and lineup difference. I mean, Guillermo Heredia, but Guillermo Heredia is usually just for defense, and he's struggled offensively with the sporadic play. Arcia is probably our only backup infielder, and he's played well in sporadics, but I don't know if you. So there's not really too much answer to to the lineup. Dansby is a good thought in the 2-hole. I think Travis Demeritte maybe being in front of behind Ronald in front of Matt Olson, you would think he would get a lot of good counts and good pitches to hit, and he's got some speed, so I like that. But it's funny too, even when we've gotten runners in scoring position hits, they technically haven't scored because either we get thrown out at home, or it just not good enough to deliver the run. So there's the unlucky part of it too. With the news of the Mets pitching staff kind of crumbling a little bit with Max Scherzer's oblique strain, what is that, 6 to 8 weeks, and you don't know anything about obliques. Those are finicky. They're dealing with Tyler McGill being out. But I mean, they're finding ways to win, and their pitching has been phenomenal. I don't know if they could sustain it, but they're finding ways to win, and I'm not going to worry about the Mets until we get. I think July was for DeGrom as well. I think too. I don't. Well, if somebody could put the finger on what is off for the Braves, I think we'd all click that button. But I don't think we're so far off that we're getting trounced. We're in every game. It's just, again, every little thing isn't working. Every walk, every wild pitch, every move that you question doesn't work out. And we're not that far off, but we've got to start stringing together series somehow, some way. And I think we'd be having a completely different conversation had Sunday's game against San Diego gone well, or we finished that one off in yesterday's game. We'd definitely be having different conversations. And do I mind? And of course, then Snicker calls the RC a bunt, which it was poorly executed, yes, but I don't know if I want RC to bunt a couple of days after he had a walk-off 2-run homer. And then, of course, that comes back to bite us because 2 batters later, after the replay, Matt Olson hits a single and it would have been a walk-up. So, I mean, it's the would have, could have, should have again for the Braves, compounded with the very, very vitally important injuries. And now that you're having to shuffle the deck of the night shift. What's up, Hudson? It's kind of difficult. Like, I don't know if it would have worked. But my thought yesterday was kind of, why didn't we try Darren O'Day in the bottom of the ninth? I don't know if it would have worked. And obviously, Kinley again didn't pitch that bad, just that leadoff walk. But and So it's there's no simple answer to this. I think the clubhouse, the leadership, all that jazz that I get constant because Freddie's missing. I don't believe that's the problem at all. I really don't. It's just we're not playing well in every facet. To one game to the from one game to the next. I mean it, and our pitching staff again, I think 6 out of 7 have gone, at least 6. And with our bullpen, you would think that's the ultimate recipe for success. But it hasn't for whatever reason. The defense was phenomenal against Milwaukee, but crappy against San Diego. The offense really hasn't found a rhythm whatsoever, and we talked about lineup construction, but there's not really versatility that I could see in the minors or the majors. Really, I mean, I wonder if, like, you know how they used to do kangaroo court stuff. I wonder if they have that. Like, if we strike out 10 plus times, you have to put like $200 in the pot or something, and maybe there's a game or an incentive to just like an extra concentration. I'm just kind of throwing things out there right now, but I kind of thought about that before I came on here. If there's incentives, games, stuff like that, like Ian Anderson trying to catch that pop up, because apparently that's gone around the league of trying to having pitchers catch pop ups, which is a Cardinals thing because you don't want them to get hurt or whatever. But I think some of that fun stuff would be nice, just to kind of shake it up a little bit in the clubhouse. I don't know that it would work, but I'm willing to try anything right now. And honestly, it's not like we're playing that bad, but we just can't string W's together. I don't think we haven't won 3 in a row. We haven't lost 3 in a row, so that's a good thing. But we also haven't won 3 in a row, so I don't know which one's more maddening. Last year when we went 18 consecutive win-loss, or this year not winning 3 in a row. I'm not sure. And I honestly don't think that there's a simple answer. Even if we wanted to do a trade or something, people have said Brian Reynolds, but that cost you a lot. Andy signed a 2-year extension with the Pirates. Does that mean he won't be traded? No, but I don't know that teams will be willing to trade with us given our success last year with the trade deadline. Obviously, the stars aligned and everything was fantastic. But I feel like there's way too much talent on this team to continue to continuously struggle in every area from game to game. But yeah, we all are, and again, that's really why I haven't done too many lives, because right or wrong, I take losses maybe as hard as they do. or harder, just because that's how I'm wired. So how I've always been wired. So I definitely just didn't want to kind of, and I don't like to be the full negative Nancy either that you get, like, because they're trying so hard, and I know it, and it's annoying them 1,000% more than it's annoying us. So like, I'm trying to be positive, do funny things like the bag to just kind of loosen things up and figure it out. I did think of, because there's a thing like, should Ozzy stop switch hitting? And everybody gets mad at his approach, like when he swings the first pitch. And of course I do, but that's who he is, and I don't want to take that away from him. So that's another thing. But I mean, the hallmark of the Braves is power and patience. And when that's clicking, it's great. But the problem is the power isn't there because of the baseballs, of the weather conditions, of all of that. I will say some really good things that I've been happy with this year. Kyle Wright finding it. AJ Minter has been phenomenal. Offensively, I'm really liking what William Contreras and Travis Demeritte bring, and I think our catching situation is great, even though we had to give up Shea Langoliers, who's killing it for the AAA. But and Travis d'Arnaud improving his stolen base and caught stealing numbers. That's a welcome sight. Spencer Strider's been phenomenal, but again, I don't know. And obviously, I think you can go with him multiples, and sometimes we've thought of him to maybe be the starter, but obviously the Tyler Matzik injury prevented that. But when you throw that hard, sometimes the second inning is not as effective as the first inning that you go out there. So I would yeah, I mean, if we could order a lot of string hits together, that would be amazing. But again, it's really hard to do with the quality of pitching staffs, and that's where the walks would be nice to mix those in a little more frequently, and maybe some bleeders and duck snorts that's been up against us all year long. That's annoying too. The soft contact stuff that we've given up shouldn't be worthy of strikeouts or anything, but they are. And my big thing with strikeouts, I know they're gonna happen, absolutely. And I appreciate like the 9-10 pitch, even 7-8 pitch strikeouts. I love if you're gonna strike out, because it's obviously gonna happen, the competitive strikeouts. But obviously my biggest pet peeve is probably they're running at third and less than 2 outs, the ABC baseball thing. And I know people yell at Chip for that, but I completely agree with them. The strikeouts don't matter take is annoying to me. I get it, but I just don't. Yeah. Yeah, the aggressive strikeouts too. I mean, if you miss a fastball or a nasty curveball, okay, but looking strikeouts or just got to be aggressive. And even if it's first pitch outs, I'm more okay with that. Yeah, I mean, I think teams. I think it's again. I don't mean to keep harping on it, but the baseball changes specifically to the baseball, I think, has hampered some teams because once you decide the direction you're going with your team, and then they keep changing baseballs, that kind of is hard to pivot in the middle of the season to try to generate more. And that's why I keep saying there's not really a magic answer like moving Ronald Acuna Jr. to lead off, or what did we do last year? The trade deadline stuff last year. And trust me, I'm not saying I know how to hit a baseball. I haven't picked up a bat since 2020. So and I'd be running scared at a 95-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle. I would not touch it. But just some of these strikeouts are head scratchingly annoying, and obviously it is for them too. But I mean, the Phillies are still the Phillies. They look great against the Dodgers, but their bullpen is still their bullpen. The Nationals thinking that they might sell Juan Soto scares the bejesus out of me, because what if he goes to like the Dodgers? I'd completely quit baseball if that happened. But the Marlins, they have great pitching, and they're always pesky. They're not great, but Jazz Chisholm is one of the most electric players in baseball. And the Mets are putting it together, and I don't know, the injuries will definitely hurt, but they have different. They have more versatility. Francisco Lindor being struggling again does not help them at all. But they have a little more versatility with Jeff McNeil, the flying squirrel, probably the most annoying Met to face. Mark Canha. But again, I don't know if their pitching will be able to hold up. Because they're at without Tyler McGill, Max Scherzer, and Jacob DeGrom, and Max Scherzer at least until July. So we'll see how they put together. Obviously, we're 8 back, and I'm not even looking at. I mean, I'm looking at that concern, but I mean, we have to put together series for us to even contemplate looking at it. So it is what it is. And as far as the baseballs, again, I just wish they would pick one and stick with it. And I don't really like the humidors in every ballpark. I understand it to level the playing field, but that's the beauty of baseball in some ways, that sometimes you're just going to have 11 to 10 shootouts, and sometimes you're going to have 1-0 pitching duels. And let's not diminish the starting pitching that we have that we face with the Brewers, with the San Diego Padres, with Boston. We got their two best thing of that. And yeah, I mean, you, especially after last year, with everything that went wrong, and for us to still be able to turn around and have that magical run, it's the same. It's the same thing. I mean, the injuries, I've discussed those. Us hitting the ball hard, but hitting it right at people. Us giving up duck snorts and bleeders for clutch hits, the walks at inopportune times. Actually, there's never a good time for. And then yes, then the first series we face Hunter Green in his MLB debut. Ian Anderson didn't have it that day. We still had Sean Newcomb in the bullpen. I mean, yeah, we've had kind of a bad luck of the draw of the starting pitchers that we face, but we have a good we actually see Corbin Burnes really well. Yeah, we can still win the division, but the series thing has got to turn around, because I think now the Cincinnati Reds has won one more series than we have, and their rock bottom was getting no hit or throwing a no hitter, but still losing the game. So let's not do that. The runners in scoring position thing too. Again, the little things, the ABC, that really hasn't helped either. And I've been talking to friends and stuff. I don't know if Kevin Seitzer's on the hot seat. I doubt it, because we typically never do any in-season moves. The last in-season move that we've made is firing Freddie Gonzalez after 9 and 18 start, and 16 I think it was, or 17 rather. So I don't see that happening. But again, these are the cards that Snickers dealt, and sometimes I don't agree with the moves, taking Strider out or using Strider here, or O'Day or Chavez or whatever the case. But once he gives them the ball or sets out the lineup, there's nothing else we can do. And I wish we could win in extra innings, but Casper is the worst thing that could ever happen to the Braves in extra innings, because yesterday we scored in the 2 extra innings but couldn't hold it. So it's every little aspect of the game is maddening for the Braves. Yeah, I mean, we actually scored twice in the extra innings, but still couldn't hold it. So I mean, you know that it's bad when you're losing games that way. And oh yeah, we're staying positive. It's just airing all of the frustrations in a safe spot. That's all it is. And because I mean, you don't know how many messages I've gotten about this team is losing because we don't have Freddie Freeman, we don't have the leadership. And I touched on it. I don't think that is the case. I think this, yeah. I think we've only won 5 of however many extra inning games we played since the runner at second base rule, which, because for the majority we never can hold them in the top of the inning. But again, there's still a ton of time left, and we saw it last year. But just stringing some things together, like having a a non-heart attack laden good series wins. Winning 3 in a row. Some positive energy, and like I said, I think Riley and Ozuna are coming around. Ronald does Ronald things. Darnell, even though he's hit a rough stretch, I think his approach at the plate is still phenomenal. So, and Dansby's in one of his good spots, good spaces. So, I mean, yes, there's a lot of time left, and yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. When our bats are alive, the bullpen or the pitching is lackluster, and then when our pitching and bullpen are alive, the bats are lackluster. So it's, or the defense, in some cases. Yeah. Which I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind the extra inning rules if Dansby has been one of our best. Dansby's been one of our best hitters over the last couple of weeks, which I guess tells you the state of our offense. But he really has. He's really turned around the really bad offensive struggles. So I'm not too concerned about that. And I wouldn't mind the runner at second base rule if we didn't stink so bad at it. I mean, like I said, I think we've won 4 out of however many games we've played with the extra inning rule, and I think we went 1-0 and we're the first teams to use it when they implemented it back in 2020. I just wish they would make the runner start at first base. Maybe. I mean, just to kind of give the reliever a chance, so to speak. And like that'll bring in more base running, base stealing, more strategy, I guess. Also, I would just rather it go away because we're terrible at it. But if it sticks around, it sticks around. Yeah, no, or that. If we could win all our extra inning games, or just never get to extra innings and win a lot of those, that'd be great. But as far as I don't, as far as like I think as far as the bullpen, I think you hope your starter goes 6, and then you got Will Smith or Strider for 7, AJ Minter 8, Kenley Jansen 9, and then maybe Jackson Stevens slides into a more prominent role. Maybe Darren O'Day does, even though at his age, I don't know that you want to push that too much. But it's kind of annoying when you kind of set it up the way you want to, with us getting through 6 innings with our starters and it's still not working. But again, it's the game of baseball. It can be beautiful and severely annoying, and obviously we are in the severely annoying, and I hope that the defense we've actually stolen a lot more bases since Ronald came back and Riley doing it twice, but I completely agree that the stolen base needs to come back a little more, and I hope we can get runners on base to make that happen a little more as well. And I think maybe trying a hit and run a little bit more might help too, because you're not thinking as much. You're just trying to put the ball in play, align it somewhere instead of and just being aggressive. So maybe we'll add that to the repertoire. Maybe. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, making contact is huge, and like I discussed earlier, I'm okay. I'm never okay with the strikeout, but if it's an aggressive strikeout or a competitive strikeout, 6 pitches or more, I can technically live with that. And I don't know that. I don't know. Okay, well, the Dodgers are obviously the Dodgers, but I don't know that they have a complete pitching, and their bullpen's a little different. So that'll obviously be interesting. I think the NL West has been incredible so far, and obviously the Padres haven't got Tatis back. But I don't know if he can stay healthy. I really don't. And I don't know how to um judge him. Um Yeah. Yeah, thank God she is okay. That was scary. I tweeted at her. I said, I think it might be time for a catcher's mask. For that to happen twice to her in her career, that's pretty scary and unprecedented. But again, the NL West, I mean, I didn't expect the Diamondbacks to be near 500, but they are. They're pitching their brains out. The Rockies, they're overachieving. It was just a higher up decision. Nobody really agrees with it, but it is what it is. And I think she's very happy with where she landed and everything. Yeah, well, I think we can all agree that we despise the Dodgers, and I think it'll be interesting how they handle the shift next year. I don't know if it's completely going away or just limiting it where you have to have everybody on, not 3 guys on one side of the field and just on the dirt. I think a lot of people said that they would take away I don't know the answer to that, CJ, but I don't know the complete answer to that, but I know she's super happy with what's happening right now, and obviously not the injury, but working with the Rockies and John Boy Media and things of that nature. So I think she's good. I'm sad that she's not with us anymore, but Kelly is solid. And I really like Peter Moylan in the booth too, which is nice. Paul Bird, Brian, BJ kind of irks me a little bit for whatever reason. I don't know why. Probably because he calls every off-speed pitch a slider, no matter if it's not a slider or not. I don't know why that irks me, but it does. But yeah, I mean, we've had flashes of fun this year with the Arcia walk-off and the miracle comeback after the a lot of errors in the 8th inning, top gross errors in the top of the 8th inning, coming back from 5-2 to win it 6-5. So it's there. We just. I'm just surprised though that we still have Thornburg in our bullpen because we use him so sparingly. And you kind of have to. You're kind of playing a couple people down. If you're not even going to consider. Yeah, it was for Kelsey. It was a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, took to the forehead, but she is recovering. She is fine. The CT came back clean, and that is from her herself. I'm not personal friends with her. I'm friends with her, but just not like in that way. I just got it from her Twitter and Instagram, but she is recovering. But as far as we just got to take it one game at a time, and losing sucks, but losing the way we have has been extra maddening, obviously. But I just hope there's not many more losses that are because of defense. That annoys me because that's defense, walks, wild pitches. Those are the controllables. If you get beat by soft contact, yeah, it's annoying. But if you get beat by soft contact, which we have a lot this year, you still got to give the hitter credit for putting the ball in play and making things happen. So as annoying as it is, I can kind of live with that even though it is annoying. Well, obviously, yeah, I'm as positive as a person as I can be. And that's why I did this live, because I know I promised a lot of lives that I didn't deliver on, and I don't want to be that type of person to not deliver on my word. That's just not me. So that's why I did this live, just to kind of we can talk about anything, Braves, baseball, whatever, just to kind of get our frustrations out in a safe space. And plus, I'm going on vacation tomorrow, Friday to Friday, so I will not be doing live. My recaps will be from Bushes and who knows where else, but my recaps will be on the road this week. So I definitely wanted to do a live just to say I'm still doing them. I've just been super frustrated with the play, and I didn't want to kind of bring that to the live, because I do go through it and I do say some non-internet friendly words. Luckily, with the recaps, I can kind of calm myself before I have to do them, but it's different watching it live, so I just want to let you guys know that. I don't know if I want to play the Blue Jays because they ate our lunch last year, but that would be cool. If we're able to turn this thing around. But the Yankees really don't look like they have too many holes right now. And obviously, I know. Oh yeah, the Carolina Hurricanes are definitely keeping me afloat. Even though Game 7 almost gave me, I think I had like 5 or 6 heart attacks during Game 7, especially the last. Did I say if? I meant when. I'm sorry. When we turn it around, I don't know if I want to play the Blue Jays because they ate our lunch last year, but maybe it'll be different this year. I don't even know if we play them this year. But yeah, the Hurricanes are making me really happy. That last 20 seconds of oh, come on. I know the Avalanche are insane. Have they? I don't even think they've lost yet. But yeah, I bleed Braves, Canes, Hornets, Panthers, even though they really make my brain hurt. And it's just when sports. Oh right, I forgot you live in Colorado. And they're insane. They haven't even lost yet. So, but yeah, sports are what I do, what I breathe by, live by, and all that. And when when it's going gross like it is, even though we have the evidence of last year that it can and will turn around, it's just still very, very, very annoying. And I don't know if I have new people here or not, but I know it's backwards. But just definitely wanted to wear this during the live. My ring set that I got for my birthday is pretty epic from my dad, so, and my mom obviously, but it's been, and I think this year obviously it's extra frustrating, and well, we'll see what happens. The playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs have been epic so far, so, and luckily, I mean, I love the Canes, but I just started watching hockey about 2 years ago when the pandemic happened. So, because that was the first sport back, and I was starving for sports, and luckily the Canes are good. So, so I wouldn't say I'm die hard. Like I can accept losses easier, I guess. I can accept losses easier. But maybe, since I finally cleaned my chair from the postseason run last year, maybe that'll be the lucky changer. Because my mom cleaned it this morning because we're going on vacation. So maybe that'll be the lucky changer, and I don't don't really have any more profile pictures I can change on Twitter. So I really, until we go on this road trip, obviously. So maybe that'll be the thing that gets the Braves going. No, we're not going to the beach. Well, if I'm being honest, I only know the first half of the trip. The second half of the trip is a surprise. I don't know, but the first half we're going to see my brother and his wife and their 2 girls. We haven't met the second one because of the pandemic and life and all that stuff. So, or I haven't. My mom has. So we're doing that, and you're going to be there for a couple of days, and then the rest of the time, I don't know where we're going. But if you follow me on Twitter and the next live I do, I will let y'all know what we did and where it. But my parents have been very secretive about that part, so we will see. But so yeah. So again, I mean, anything and everything has kind of gone wrong for the Braves right now, but we're kind of lucky to be where we are with the series splits that we've been able to get with the Mets, the Padres. We even played a decent series against the Dodgers. It didn't go our way, but so we will definitely see. But I think once we kind of carve out the new bullpen roles, try to put the ball in play more. And again, I think the offense may be turning corner a little bit. So we'll see. Hopefully we have a couple of laughers to kind of help the heart attack losses and the gut punch losses. And I think and as much as a lot of people complain about Snitker, I think he's the perfect guy to lead this. We saw it last year. Just kind of keeping it even keel. And no matter how this season goes, I think we're still in for some good stretches, and they say it's impossible to repeat, and I'm well, not impossible, but very, 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 very hard to do, and I think that's what we're seeing. So, and it's not like we're playing bad, we're just not clicking on all cylinders. And yeah, and I mean, and obviously I was discussing that with my dad the other day. I think Walt Weiss would be really good. I think Ron Washington deserves a shot, but I think his age might be a big factor there. But I wouldn't mind Walt Weiss. I really would, even Eddie Perez. But I think going through the struggles this year, obviously it stinks, and we wish that we would get off to a good start. But I don't think we've gotten off to a good start since 2018 when we won the first 3 series when nobody expected it. And really, we haven't had good starts even when we were good back in 2010 through 14. So, I mean, it's not really surprising. It's just we have interesting, weird starts every single year that I've done these recaps. So, because 2019, we got swept by the Phillies the first series too. So, I mean, we've seen everything, and obviously having a ring on our finger this year makes the struggles a little more bearable. And obviously the pieces are there. I think losing Luke Jackson and Tyler Matzek, obviously that's put a strain on the night shift. So we'll see how those roles evolve. Maybe we won't use McHugh for more than one inning too much because I think he'll be in more high leverage situations. But that's pretty much. I think we talked about every possible frustrating thing there is that's gone on so far. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. It's really, really frustrating, obviously, but kind of having these lives are kind of a release in a different way. So it's kind of fun and annoying in a way, but I really appreciate that I have kind of this fan base to do these lives, because when I first started these things, when I first started these things, I think I talked to myself for for 2 hours. And I talked to myself for 2 hours in a basketball live. So, but nice. It's really nice having a fan base and a regulars that hang out and show up and have the same frustrations and happiness when things are going well. And thank God we won the World Series last year, because I think it would be a million times more frustrating than it already is. And I didn't think that would be possible, but I mean, I think I got a pretty good base, and it's still crazy to me. But getting to share passion and frustration with you guys and everybody that I talk to on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. It's a dream come true, and even through the frustrations, it's it makes it more fun. It makes it just to yeah, I didn't realize that that Brian Snicker was already 66. But yeah, I think he's through the 2024 season. I think he signed an extension through the 2024 season. But I definitely wanted to do this live to make sure everybody knew that I wasn't trying to retract on my word with doing lives during games, and just kind of air all of the things that we can think of. But hopefully, we'll have a couple, how about 5 or 6 laughers while I'm gone, and just score a lot of runs. And I appreciate that. I really only watch ESPN for the sports that they show, and when Scott Van Pelt is on there, because he's my favorite. Boston is taking it to Miami right now, 42-28, with 9:20 to go in the second quarter. I could care less who wins in the Eastern Conference, even though I kind of despise the Heat, since the purple shirt guy against Charlotte the last time we were in the playoffs, and then Miami, we just cannot beat them. In Miami, we just can't beat them. Plus the purple shirt guy. So. and that's another cool thing. Like seeing people from Iowa, from like Germany, from just Mexico, some Colorado for Hudson. I would never be able to meet you guys or interact with you guys had I not started this channel and this recap venture. So I just am really, really excited and really, even through the struggles and annoying stuff, but it's nice to have people that are as annoyed with me with the Braves and baseball in general sometimes and things of that nature. So how about this? Even if I don't do lives game wise, I can just do them as sessions about baseball, about sports, about the Braves struggles or non-struggles or happy things. And obviously when we start stringing some things together, I'll be more apt to do the lives because I don't want to show you my really frustrated side, but it's just been really, really incredible. And obviously these lives and longer videos help the watch hours, which is the ultimate goal. And no, I have never watched WWE. I have played the video games. Actually, that's a lie. I watched WWE when The Rock, Rey Mysterio, those type, John Cena, those type were big, super, super big when my brothers were around. The video games are my jam. I haven't played one in a while, but no, I don't remember the last time I watched WWE, to be honest. And Hudson, before I forget, dinner tonight was and is steak and potatoes. If you are a avid live follower and whatever, I always have dinner with the game or with this thing. So, but Chuba Hubbard will get playing time, and I think he will get quality playing time. Hopefully Christian McCaffrey stays healthy. Honestly, there's more hope than there was before the draft. I think we finally have a respectable offensive line. Sam Darnold obviously doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies, but I appreciate us drafting Matt Corral and giving that kid a shot, because at some point you've got to stop getting other teams recycled projects and trying to fix it, and you got to get your guy mold. And I think he is a big time dual threat. I think he's super boom or bust right now, but anything's, and no disrespect to Sam Darnold, but I feel like anything's better than Sam Darnold. So we may still go the veteran route. I don't know. I don't expect much with the I don't expect much with the schedule, given that we have to face the AFC West. I think it's AFC West and NFC West, so that doesn't give me. But I think there's a lot more great to build on. Yes, I did see that Andrew Jones was on the Peacock. I did not. I don't have Peacock, so I just followed on my phone. But I heard he was really solid. So that was good. But for the Panthers, I really like what we did special teams wise. Defense has been solid. And if we keep Christian McCaffrey healthy, which is always the big if, I think our offense can do a lot better. Do I expect a lot of wins? Probably not, given the strength of schedule, given the divisions. But I think there's more hope. I really do. But I hope, to be honest, I hope Matt Rule is gone after this year, and short of playoffs, I think that's the case. But I think he has a few more years on the ballot. I'm not quite sure on the Andrew Jones thing. But I do agree that he should be a Hall of Famer just based on his defense. And offensively, he wasn't anything to sneeze at either. But yeah, I mean, 6 or 5 years. So I mean, yeah, you even got yeah. So wait, we've discussed every aspect of the Braves. You got some hockey in there. You got some football in there. WWE. Andrew Jones. But let's just get a couple of good stretches of Braves baseball. Start simple, win a couple of series hopefully, and maybe we can talk about more positive stuff. Because again, there are 124 games left, so a lot of time, and there's a lot of talent on this team. Too much to be struggling this much. And starting tomorrow, we play. Oh yeah, small basketball. I need Jimmy Butler to pick it up a little bit because I have him on my DraftKings lineup. But Boston is killing right now, 50-31. But yeah, what was I saying? The Braves, the next 29 are against teams 500 or worse. So I think this is the put up or shut up portion of the schedule. So we will see if we can finally string some things together. But there are flashes. So hopefully those flashes become a winning streak. And thanks for coming on, listening to Sports all the time. It was a nice, actually almost an hour and a half. And I didn't expect it to go this long, so that's kind of a nice. I didn't know that there would be this much interest, so that's kind of cool. But I will chronicle my surprise whatever trip thing and family, obviously, to start. But we leave tomorrow. So I'm gonna watch the rest of this, eat, and enjoy the rest of the stress-free off day for the Braves. So thanks for joining. As always, go Braves champions forever. And I will also put on my Twitter the next time I will do a live, and I promise it will be after vacation. And hopefully at that time we'll be in a good hopefully it'll be we can talk about more positive and more fun stuff. Hey, and at least a lot of our homers are now not just solos, so that is also a positive. And our pitching's been solid. We just gotta but it's not all roses obviously right now, but it could be a lot worse. We could be the Reds, and we're not. So there's a lot of ball left, so we'll see what happens. But I will talk to you guys again, and I will let you know about it all. As always, go Braves again. Thanks, guys.